What up, y'all? This is Gene Noble, and you're hanging out with GrownFolksMusic.com.
GrownFolksMusic.com.
What's up, everybody? I am Kimberly Kennedy Charles, DJ KKCDET on Instagram, and welcome to GrownFolksMusic.com. This evening, we're going to interview an artist named Gene Noble. He has a new single and an upcoming EP, and we're going to get to know him a little better in just a few minutes. Gene Noble, welcome to GrownFolksMusic.com.
Thank you for having me.
So let's jump in. We have been familiar with you for actually quite a while.
Yes,
We
y'all
go
have. I appreciate y'all because y'all always look out. So thank you.
we go back to the days when you were calling yourself Jaden the Cure.
Yes.
So we want to talk about that. Are
Yeah.
we correct that Quincy Jones had something to do with that name? Is that right?
Absolutely.
Tell
Absolutely.
that story.
So, I performed at Quincy Jones' house, and we had a whole conversation about real music and just kind of like, keeping live instrumentation and real songs and real singing in music. And basically, the culmination of that conversation was him basically calling me the cure and telling me that I would be the cure for that for music, right? So I would be the thing to keep music alive, keep it alive. And so, yeah, that was it for a while. That was what I ran with for a while. And then I got older than my dad lived. My dad died very young, and I wanted to do something to honor him. And since I'm the third, I already share his name. I just kind of started to go by what my dad went by, which was Gene. And the noble, actually, Gene means noble. So that's where that comes from. So that's what the name change was.
Okay, well, that's cool. What was it like how did you get to Quincy Jones in front of Quincy Jones in the first place?
Well, in that moment, crazy enough, the reason how I got the gig was because they were looking for somebody who could sing and play keys.
Mm.
And I believe it was like John Legend or somebody else who couldn't, who they really actually wanted and couldn't make the gig. And they were like, like scrambling, trying to find, like, we need somebody who can sing and play some Quincy Jones songs and sing them at this event. And so they hit me up and I was like, absolutely. Like, I'm there. When do you need me? How do I get there? So I got there and I had to get myself there. And then next thing I know, I'm in Bel Air sitting at Quincy's piano, like talking to him about like life and about music. And it was an incredible experience.
That's a life-changing event. Other than him telling you that you are the cure for music, what else did he tell you that sticks out from that meeting with him?
I think the things that stick out the most are things that he actually didn't really say, which is that in that moment I remember he was working on the score for like the Special Olympics, and that was like his big focus, and he was very focused on this, and this was like his new project. And I was just thinking to myself, like, this dude is still working. He's still so focused, and he's still so in it, and it's what he loves, and then you could see it just pouring out of him. Like, so it was just incredible to watch him still be like working and still because that's the way I see myself. I see myself doing music in some capacity until the day I close my eyes. And so to see someone else who has that same type of love and that same type of passion for it, and them expressing it when they don't need to, he could like clearly sit back on his laurels and not be like so pressed to do things. He could even have somebody else do stuff for him and put his name on it, but like he's still meticulous about getting stuff done in a way that just shows that he loves the craft. And that's who I am as a person. So that's one of my lasting memories, was that he was very focused on getting new work done, scoring new music. um, yeah.
The new single is Matching Tattoos. I suppose that there are a lot of people who regret their decision to get someone else's name tattooed on their
Correct.
body, especially if the relationship didn't work out. Talk about that song.
Yeah, matching tattoos. Yeah, I mean, it's literally just that moment where you're kind of reflecting on a relationship, and the one I was reflecting on in that moment happened to be one where I was asked to get a matching tattoo, and I sat there and I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't get that matching tattoo. But I specifically wrote the song in a way that's not clear as to if I'm glad or not. It's asking, aren't you glad that we didn't go through with
Mhm.
getting those matching tattoos? But it's very much still recapping all the memories and all the things that are still like, burned on my existence, regardless of if it's an actual physical tattoo. So that's kind of the way I look at it.
So, matching tattoos is part of an upcoming EP.
Yes.
Did the quarantine or the pandemic or any of the social justice issues that are going on right now, did they inform this upcoming project in any way?
Absolutely. Too Many Lost was the song that I released before this one, um, which was completely about, the state of what we're in right now, like all the things that we're going through right now, Um, for anybody who hasn't heard it, the first lines is, you want war and I want peace, but I'll fight here in these streets if it means one less mother's got to cry tonight.
Mm,
I got hope, but you got guns, and they're pointed at my sons. So I got to switch up real quick, or I won't survive. And
mm,
it's crazy because I wrote that song, at a time when one of the deaths happened, one of the killings, one of the police brutality killings happened, and since that time, so many others have happened, and there's been so many hashtags, there's been so many other names, and so when people talk to me about it, they're like, "Oh, did you write this in reference to?" And it's always someone that I didn't write it actually in reference
mm.
to. I wrote it in reference to something that happened before that. So um, and I believe it was Stefan Clark was the one that I was in the studio, and we were just pissed about it, and we kind of like started writing the song, and now how many have there been since then?
Mm.
Yeah.
What else can we expect from the EP? What's the flavor of the EP?
You can just expect me to take you some different places. You can expect that I'm gonna sing. You can expect that I'm gonna write things that are relatable and that just feel good. And I think it's a great place to introduce myself, because for the people that do know me, it's a great place for them to pick back up with me. And for the people who haven't, been acclimated with my music, I think that this project will give them a complete understanding of who I am and where I am in life and what's next for me.
I know your feet are tired when you get through singing because you are a run king. You are serious with it. I said, I know your feet are tired.
That's hilarious.
um, you've actually been in and around this industry for a long time,
Yeah.
and people don't know that. And you mentioned earlier about Quincy Jones still making music and still how he did doesn't have to do it, but he's still so committed to his career and his craft.
Yeah.
And so you have more than one side. In addition to being a vocalist, you're also a writer
Yes.
and you have a publishing deal. So I have a couple of questions about that. When you got your publishing deal, were they not initially interested in you as a vocalist or recording artist, or how did you walk in on the publishing side?
I originally, when I walked in on the publishing side, it was definitely part of me doing music as a solo artist. I was signed to other labels before. I've had a few different record deals before that just didn't work out, and so I didn't stop there. I just started writing music for other people. I started touring with other artists, which kind of took on a life of its own. I didn't initially think that I would be touring with other artists, but I moved to LA to really do my solo career, and I put my bags down, and then ended up on the road with Chris Brown for 5 years. So that's kind of how that went. And but I've always been kind of still focused on doing my own music and expressing myself freely in that way. So I didn't care what way that presented itself. It could have been indie, it could have been in a small way, but luckily I was able to partner with Hidden Beach, and I've been in a great situation to kind of like get my music out there. Like this project has been in the works for a long time, and what I'm most excited about is that it's actually coming to fruition and actually gonna gonna see the light of day,
Hmm.
and people will actually get to hear it because it's songs that I wrote on tour with other artists. It's songs that I wrote, you know, on planes. It's songs that I wrote everywhere. It's like it's stuff that's really personal, and I'm happy about it. That's all I got.
Around here at Grown Folks Music, we like to talk about bridging the gap. That's one of our mottos. And one of the biggest bridges of a gap has to be one of the projects you worked on. It's so interesting that the project itself is a bridge, and
Yeah.
then you working on it. You working on. I found it intriguing that you were working on Sting and Shaggy's project.
Yes.
How did you come into that?
That's crazy. That whole
That project
situation.
is crazy in itself. Like you would never
Right.
put Sting and Shaggy together. How did you
Right.
get involved?
You know, Shaggy wrote this song, and I've sung for Shaggy for years. He's a very, very good friend of mine, and also a mentor. Like he really has helped me out, probably more than anyone else in the industry over the years. And so he's someone that I consider a big bro and that I can call for advice. And he had this song that he wrote, and he asked me if I would sing the hook for it, and I was like, absolutely. I sung the hook for it, and that song became the first song that him and Sting recorded because Sting heard the song and was like, I want to get on the song with you. So then Sting is on the hook that I started singing, and then that evolved into them doing a project. And when they started to put together the idea of doing a reggae album, they asked me if I wanted to come and do backgrounds on the reggae album. So I was like, of course, you know. And then Juice World put out a song, Lucid Dreams, which takes a cover of Sting's Shape of My Heart. And so Sting then asked me to come on the road with him to sing this song, Lucid Dreams, and he would sing Shape of My Heart. And now we do a duet every night on stage. And it's been the most surreal, incredible experience of my
That's
life.
amazing.
Um, so, yeah,
That's
that's all.
that's amazing, and an ultimate bridging of
Yeah,
the gap when you include Juice World in there.
yeah, absolutely.
Another group that I was intrigued to hear that you wrote for. I heard you say you wrote a song for the Wanted. What song did you
Did.
write for the Wanted?
I wrote a couple songs for the Wanted. One is called "If We're All Right," and the other one, which was their last single as a group, was called "Glow in the Dark."
Hmm.
And that is my writing partner actually moved to London with his wife and his kids. They moved back to London, but they were in LA, so we kind of linked up in LA as writing partners.
Hmm.
And then he went back that way with his family. And when I went to London to work with him, we ended up writing for the Wanted. So that's how that song came about. So we one of the first songs we wrote together was "Glow in the Dark," and then I wrote with one of the group members in the group the next song, which is called "If We're All Right." So we had two songs on that album. And it was an incredible experience. We really expected that they would continue forward, but they kind of just were like over it. They didn't want to really be bothered anymore with the whole pop star thing. So, you know,
One of the group members is singing, and he put out a solo album a couple years ago, and he's putting out another one.
yeah,
And he does a lot of writing. So I would love to see that come full circle again because the level of his singing has gone up as well. So,
definitely. And
so
they're great guys. They're great guys. Really, really cool guys. So I really do root for them and wish the best for them. Yeah.
you found yourself in like every corner of the world doing this
Yes.
thing, and that's what's really amazing about this whole thing. In addition to the EP, what do you see yourself doing? What are still some of your dreams?
You know, I have so many people that I would like to collaborate with. I would like to do more film and TV stuff. I would like to do some scoring. I would like to produce some things. I would like to do some theater, some musical theater. I can see myself doing some acting. Um, I'm gonna definitely reach back and pull back a lot of artists that I think that are in the background where I was that deserve a shot at doing their own thing on a solo front. So like my company, Foreground Entertainment Group, is specifically set up to sign artists that are singing backgrounds or have done backgrounds or tour with other
Hmm.
artists that want to step out and do their own thing. And I'm also really excited to highlight a few of those people on all of my projects. I'll always make it a point to highlight those people, because a lot of people don't know that, like, when other artists do award shows, sometimes they call us to come and sing their performance through, so that they can get ideas and so that they can learn how to to perform the songs. People don't realize that how far it goes, that our influence is involved in a lot of solo artists. So I really want to make sure that I always do something to highlight background artists. So
That's interesting that you say that because when I saw you on Terrell's, shout out to Terrell,
yeah, shout out
um,
to Pharrell.
I noticed that every song you sang, you rearranged. So
Yes,
you have a gift for arrangement and hearing
yes,
songs differently or hearing different notes in the way that you think it should be sung.
yes,
So that's I think that's a good path, or that's exciting to me. And not that you just want to put background singers on, but also develop them, and with you have a
yes.
gift of arrangement.
Thank
And
you, thank
I
you.
did not
Like the way.
know that people call you and people call background singers to actually show them how to sing a song.
Yeah,
You think of that more in the booth, where
right.
sometimes some of the producers who can sing will say, no, sing it this way, I'm trying to hear it like this, or break it down like that. But I never thought about uh, the background vocalist
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
that
I
as
mean,
well.
yeah, it's a thing. We stand in when they don't want to come to sound check. So the mic is actually tuned to our voices.
Mm,
Sometimes we're at the award show, walking through the performance, and so the marks that we hit are become the marks. The notes that we hit become the thing that the band is cued to.
mm,
So and sometimes when it's that night where they ain't got it all up here, they give us the symbol and we take over. So what's interesting is we all have to be chameleons and be able to mimic the voice of anyone that we sing with. So I think that was the tricky part about coming up with this project, was trying to figure out back to my voice, because I was so used to being other people's voices: Chris Brown, Usher, CeeLo, Sting. Like, I could those voices because those are like my jobs. But then it was trying to find back my voice and what I wanted to do. And I'm so excited about this project because this is the first time I feel like every single song sounds like me. So I'm excited about that.
Speaking of finding your voice and other artists, um, I've read some comments about you about artists, um, who they think you resemble or your voice resembles.
Yeah.
But who are your influences?
Oh, D'Angelo is my biggest influence. Um, I I can't say enough about D'Angelo, but D'Angelo, Prince, um, Eric Benet, Stevie Wonder, Donny Hathaway. I'm really into Nat King Cole. I love Mariah Carey. I think she's amazing. Her, obviously, the movement of my voice and the range and stuff like that. You know, um, I love Daryl Coley. That's my favorite gospel
Mm,
singer. I'm big on the Clark sisters. I'm big on jazz. Sarah Vaughan is really the reason why I sing the way I sing, which is that I perform in my moment and in my current mood and in my current state. And whatever that is what it is. I never perform a song the same way twice. And I definitely stole that from Sarah
mm.
Vaughan. Um, I'm I'm massively influenced by Sting. I'm massively influenced by Usher. Um, they both, for different reasons, have completely changed my view or thought about music. And honestly, I'm influenced by a lot of people. Really, like, I'm influenced by. I go to an open mic and somebody comes up with something that is fresh or new or that I've never heard, or it's just really vulnerable, or it's like singing from a just a really honest place. Like, I'm soaking that up. Like, that's me all day. So Melanie Daniels, I have to say her name because a lot of people don't know who she is, but Melanie Daniels is an amazing background singer. She actually sang background for Mariah Carey and a whole bunch of other people. She's from Long Island, which is where I'm from, and I grew up in church, and she was one of the people that sang in my church who had, you know, 4 octaves range and
Wow.
all this crazy control, and was able to like do all these things with her voice. And I remember as a kid literally just following her around and just being obsessed with like how was this possible, you know. And so a lot of my influence comes from there as well.
I want to run back really just quickly to you saying that you have started your own company. Talk about ownership in
Yes.
this day.
Yes, well, it is extremely important. I think it was important for me to not sign to a label, but partner with a label, which is what I did. And I think for me, it's always been important to do that. You know, even other situations that I had in the past that maybe didn't necessarily work out, my paperwork was beautiful. And if it had worked out, you know, I'd be set up correctly because I've always been the person who looks to make sure that the terms give me freedom and give me the ability to have my own control and have
Mhm.
ownership, and then turn around and have artists and have other things that I can sign to myself, and freedom to move around and do other projects and work on other things. So that's crucial, and I think at this point everybody should be doing that with whatever you do, like having ownership in that and just making your shit your thing fly enough for people to like to come to you, you know, for that. So um, that's been super focus of my life, and honestly, you know, coming in the game and having been tutored. I mean, I've been really fortunate to spend the last decade behind the biggest artists in the world, and honestly, like that has been the best teaching of all. Like, you know, just watching the types of deals they sign and the types of things that they're concerned about, and it's really helped me a lot as far as making my own decisions and getting my own deals taken care of.
What is your definition of grown folks music?
Grown folks music is those songs that are going to be around. You know, I would like to think that I create grown folks music. To me, grown folks music is that you put it on when you have a glass of wine, you put it on at the barbecue, you could put it on for dinner. Like I think it's beyond just a club. To me, grown folks music is music you live your life to, music you fall in love to, music you have your experiences to, music that has some substance to it, music that has live instruments or some soulful singing, or you know, you can hear a bass guitar or a guitar or some keys or something like that. To me, grown folks music is just a little bit more mature, you know. Whereas a lot of the music that we have out now um, is like it can get a little clubbish, you know. It can get a little redundant in terms of its message. I think to me, grown folks music is an extension of the life that we actually live on a daily basis. That's not in the club every day, you know.
This is your time to shout it out. Tell us all things G Noble, where we can get the upcoming EP, well, where we can see the video and first get Match Your Tattoos and the other single, and where we can get all of your music. And where I would say where you're on tour, where you're performing, but we're on
Yeah,
timeout right now.
right.
So just tell us all things, your social media, your website, just all things and all places that we can get at you.
Cool, absolutely. Well, everything is pretty much I am Gene Noble. That's Twitter, that's Facebook, that's Instagram, all of that stuff is at I am Gene Noble. That's TikTok, all of those things. You can reach me there. My music is on all platforms. It's my name, GENENOBLE. You got the cost, you got trust, you got matching tattoos out now. You have a few features that I've done, but most importantly, in just I don't want to say exact dates, but a little bit more than a month, we finally putting this project out. So you'll have that to look at too. So
Project have a name?
the project has a name, and guess what the name of it is? It's Patience. And because I've
Excellent.
had to have a lot of it to get to this place, and I'm grateful.
Amen. Gene Noble, thank you so much for your time. Come
Thank you
back
so
and
much.
holler at us. I'm really interested in having you just do a whole podcast about your adventures as a background vocalist. I
Yeah,
think that would be super fun.
I would love to do that. I would
All
love to do
right.
that because I think people don't really know the full scope of it. So it would be dope to do that. And thank you for having me. This was really cool. I'd love to do it again.
No problem. Let's get together soon. Take care.
Right. Thank you.
Bye bye.
grownfolksmusic.com